Welcome back to another Bushman family video. Today I would like to talk about the balance between living your life, saving for retirement, and paying off your debts. I would like to call it the financial balance. And I wanted to share a little bit about what our family does, and hopefully it can help others too. And if you're new around here, my name is Libby, mom of the Bushman family. I make videos on being frugal and our simple family life. We are a debt-free family, and I like to teach about life, money, and all things Costco. So if you're interested in that, please hit the subscribe and join our community. Before I get started on the balance between living your life, saving for retirement, and paying off debt, pay off all your consumer debt first. So your credit card bills, your student loans, your car payments. Get those out of the way first before you start doing the things that I suggest next. But after you do that, these are the things that my family has done. So Austin and I found ourselves in this position January of 2020 when I read a financial book called Broke Millennial. And in this book, the author talks about your core values. So what are the things that you value most in your life, and are you putting your money into those values? So I sat down with my husband and we talked about it. And we talked about the things that we really valued as a family. And some of them were the same, some of them were different, but we came up with 5 that we both agreed on that could be our family core values. So the 5 of them are, I have my list, security, adventures, family and marriage, we bundled those together, service, and then last one, freedom. So then we sat down and talked about it. How do we put our money where our mouth is? So are we using our money to further our values in our life? Or are we just trying to squirrel it away to keep us protected? So I'm going to go through our 5 values and talk a little bit about what we have done. First, we're going to talk about security. We both knew we wanted financial security. We both knew that we wanted to have security for the future, so our retirement. And we both had 2 other things. So I thought of our house as security, right? So we have a home. Hopefully we'll pay off that home, that it will be ours. We are protected. If there's a job loss or financial crisis, we have a place to live and a roof over our family's head. So that was a big security for me. Austin also talked about job security. So he works for a company that helps us do retirement accounts. He works for a company that is pretty stable, has really good health insurance. So all of those things make us feel secure and safe in our life. So with our first value being security, we set up retirement accounts. We bought a reasonable home, and we work for companies that we feel can take us the long haul, okay? So that helped us feel more financially secure. Number 2, adventures. So my daughter, Bailey, loves to go on adventures, and she talks about how adventures are not following the path. So when we go hiking, she likes to go on the path less taken. When we are in the forest or camping, she likes to adventure out and see those things. So we started talking about this in January 2020 before we knew the world was ending, and we decided that once a week we would do an adventure as a family, and we would set aside a budget so that we could have money to do those things. So from January to March, we did. Once a week, we went and did things together as a family. So that can include, like, we went to a nickel arcade. My kids loved it. We played laser tag with them. We went to art museums. We went to free concerts. So we did a family adventure once a week. And that, to me, is invaluable, right? To be able to have a budget, and ours was small. I think at the time it was about $100 for the whole month. It was like weekly adventures. Another part of adventures we put in there is travel. So I live in a different state than my parents, and so once a year I pack up my kids and we go home. We also, and those are like once a year things, so vacation, so camping, traveling to see my parents. We want to travel to Yellowstone. We want to travel to some other places in the United States. Well, we want to do 2 big trips that we've planned so far. One is Hawaii in a couple years, which I've talked about before. And another one is we want to go to New York City when our kids are teenagers. So we want to do a Yankees game. We want to do a Broadway play. We want to eat all the really good New York pizza. We want to see the World Trade Center with our children. So we have set up a investment account to put money in so that it can grow for those big trips that are coming down the road. That's number 2, adventures. So traveling, vacations, being with our family, and intentionally using our time with them. Our kids are only little ones. Next is number 3, which is quality time with our family. So when I was talking about those adventures, that creates a good bond with our children, that we are spending good quality time with them. So the way that I like to do that with my kids is reading. So I talked about using your public library. That I am a huge fan of. That was a free thing that bonds me to my children, that they enjoy having me read to them, and I enjoy it too. And that is quality time with them. But this year we spent our money on a trampoline and we spent our money on a basketball hoop so that our kids would spend time with us doing those things, being outside and enjoying jumping on the trampoline. So quality time with our kids is really important to us. Number 4, this is service. So Austin and I are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we have been raised to put a strong emphasis on service. So Austin and I both served full-time missions. Austin served for 2 years and I served for 18 months. He served in California and I served in New Mexico. And we went and proselyted about our church and the Savior. And that was a huge service. We pay tithing to our church. We serve in callings. So I work with the 8 and 9-year-old boys in my congregation. And my husband works with the older men in our congregation. So we each have a calling that we do and put forth our time and effort to serve our community, if you will. So service is a really big deal for us. And in fact, when we retire, I would love to serve what they call them senior missions. I would love to serve a senior mission where a married couple who are retired go and serve for the church. So that is something that I have thought about and put when we are adding to our 401k and our retirement accounts. I take into consideration, I would like to serve a mission. In fact, I'd like to serve a couple missions. Austin doesn't want to, but we'll get there. Anyway, so service is a big one, and even trying to teach our kids service. So we have some neighbors who are elderly, and they have gone and done helpful things for them, and service is a big deal. Number 5 is freedom. And Austin and I both thought about this differently. I thought about it as financial freedom and being able to be consumer debt free, to be mortgage free, to be able to live our lives debt free, pay off our mortgage early so that we can have time later on to do the things that we desire. To be able to be financially independent, have that freedom where we don't have to get up and go to work, where we don't have to be anywhere, where we don't have to answer to banks, we don't have to answer to credit cards, we don't have to answer to our car loans, that we don't have to answer to a boss, right? Like, Those things are what I would consider freedom. That we have no debts or obligations to other people, that we can live our lives how we want to. Once we figured out our values, then we could put our money where our mouth was. Then we could plan out things so that we could live a little, we could save a little, and we could pay off our debt as well, right? And that's the goal once the debt is gone, to be able to live all you want. I hope that figuring out your values will help you, that you can sit down with your spouse or your partner and say, you know, security is a big value of mine. What can we do to be more financially secure, more spiritually secure, more fiscally secure? Fiscally and financially are the same. What can we do to make our lives more secure? And then do those things. So we set up retirement accounts, we set up savings accounts, emergency funds. We're working on paying down our debt, which is our mortgage, and we have planned and saved for vacations. So take your values and funnel your money into those values. And then you will be able to do all three. You'll be able to live a little, you'll be able to retire and save a little, and you'll be debt-free. Anyway, I hope that helps you. If you have any questions or any goals you want to share with me, put them down in the comments below. I would love to see them, and hope you have a wonderful day.